Hi, so today we're going to start with hot plate testing, and we're going to do some dry testing. And the first thing that we have to do is condition the fabric and the equipment for 12 hours in advance. So we're going to set the chamber to turn on tonight so that tomorrow it will have soaked the fabric at the desired temperature for 12 hours. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to select program. And then we're going to open the folder. So we're going to select the dry test hot plate program. And we're going to open that. Okay, and that pulls up the standard, which is 20 degrees Celsius and 65% humidity. And we're going to tell it to run. And we're going to enter the delayed start menu. And we're going to tell it that we'd like it to turn on this evening. And so that by 8 a.m. tomorrow, everything is conditioned. We're going to tell it to turn on at 9 p.m. on a 24-hour clock. Okay, so we're going to set it at 1900 hours and set it to start and start delay. And then down here at the bottom, it will tell us that it's going to start the dry test hot plate program. And it's going to start it this evening at 1900 hours. So the cords are out of the way and they're not a trip hazard. Please tape them down to the floor to make sure that it's safe to step over. You want to bring the hot plate cart into the center of the chamber. You can see that you're in the center of the chamber because the wheel locations are highlighted here. And then you want to plug in the communication cables. There's a 9-pin connector. You want to make sure that you have the little slot faced up towards the red dot. And just push that in. And then you have a 4-pin connector with the same process. You want to line up the cable and just push forward. So one of the first things that you do before you set up a bare plate test is you adjust the height of the airflow sensor. So this is the airflow sensor here. And you need to make sure that it's 7 millimeters above the top of the plate. And so we have this nice spacer here. And you rest that on the hot plate surface, making sure that the plate is low enough that there's clearance between the airflow sensor. Make sure the airflow sensor is seated while in the pocket and isn't moving around. And then you want to look through this viewing hole here and adjust it with this knob until the top surface of that spacer is in contact with the airflow sensor. You don't want to damage the airflow sensor, so approaching it slowly is the best. All right, and then you want to remove that spacer and set the lid back down. We want to make sure to turn the light off in here because this will affect the room temperature. And when we close the door, we want to make sure that the light in the room is off as well. So always while you're adjusting the hot plate or working in this chamber, you want to keep the door closed at all times so that you don't let any heat or humidity escape. You want to maintain that environmental condition as accurately as possible. Don't forget to turn your lights off. So this is the hot plate computer, and you want to make sure that it's connected to the control box with this 9-pin cable here. And on the back side of the control box, you're going to flip the switch and turn it on. Your lights go on. You know that you're functioning. And then you want to come back and you want to open the program called ThermDAC. That's the software program that controls the hot plate. Just double click that and open it up. All right, so this is our hot plate guidebook. It has instructions and standards and the data collection sheets that you'll need. We'll pull out our procedure to start following. And when your computer opens up, all right, so we have the test plate is the center place where you're measuring the insulation of the fabric. then you have this guard ring, which is the outer ring, and then you have this lower plate called the lower guard. Those are the 3 heated plates of the hot plate. And to turn on the test, you want to go up here to run. The test that we want to run for dry testing is called ASTM 1868 Part A, and we'd like to choose the no autocomplete one so that we can choose when to end the test. And this gives you a little bit of information. The set plate temperature, the temperature that we're setting the plates to is 35 degrees C, so just about skin temperature. And these are the low end and the high end of the tolerance for the temperature. And the percent that we'd like to have the test accuracy be within, 1.5. And you can press start. And then we'll save that in a folder on the desktop. And then we'll save a folder for bear tests. And the file name will be bear drive ASTM 1868A, and then today's date, which is April 19th, 2018. And then once the screen comes up, you can select the Show Stats region. This lets you know what region is being used to calculate the averages that are showing up on the right-hand side of the screen. So select that. I have a hard time seeing this blue line, so I right-click on this color until a color that is easier for my eyes to see comes up. This red seems pretty good. Then we can scroll over here to the right and see that we're measuring the RCT. This is the resistance to heat transfer. That's what we're trying to learn about the plate in this case. And this is the temperature of the plate. You can see average surface temperature. So the plate started out at 22.5 degrees and it's proceeding towards the 35 degree set point. So we'll let that just continue. The heat flux area actually measures how much power is required to reach that set point. So that's what this tab shows you. And then the ambient temperature is the temperature in the room. The room is set for 20 degrees C, and right now it's measuring 24. And the humidity, the set point is 65%, and it's right now measuring 18.3. So we'll want to adjust the temperature and humidity in the chamber so we can reach those goals. And this is the air velocity, and right now the average air velocity passing over the fabric or over the plate is 0. But we'll continue to measure that for 30 minutes. Okay. This is an example of a completed test. You can see that the test ran for about an hour, and this area that's covered that's yellow is the 30 minutes during which all of this data has been averaged. So the RCT, so the resistance to heat transfer for this bare plate is 0.0629. You can see that the percent change in that number over the 30-minute window is under 1.5%, so that's good. We didn't have very much variability. We can be sure that there's not a significant change about to happen. It seems like it's very consistent. This yellow, red, and green line are actually lying on top of each other, so all three were very consistently measuring 35 degrees for the whole 30-minute window. The humidity, the temperature in the room was 20 degrees C, so right at the set point, and the humidity was at 63%, so our goal is 65 plus or minus 5%, so it was right in there. Again, the variation was very low for humidity and the temperature. And the air velocity passing over the fabric, over the plate, was 1 and consistent throughout the test. So when you get this kind of result, you can end the test and then this yellow light will come up that the test is complete. You can save a report, and then you can save a screenshot. Just hit the function and print screen here, the F11, and then you want to open this paint program down here at the bottom and Control V and save the picture of the screenshot so that you can look back at the results real easily in the future. So when you're done with the bear test and you're ready to start testing your fabrics, you want to make sure you have at least 3 specimens, because you want to do at least 3 repetitions of your test to make sure that your data is reliable. And you just follow the same procedure. So you lift the lid, you lower the plate, and you flip these fabric locating bars out of the way. You place your sample on the hot plate, making sure it's flat and that there are no bubbles under the fabric. And then lower the guards. And then you place your spacer. And then you look through the window to make sure that your plate is just barely touching the spacer. And then you're all set. Okay, so you just want to lift the lid, take out your spacer, turn off your light, and proceed to starting the test.